Hello. Hi,
Hey,
Tom. How are you? I'm good. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, you too. It's really cool with you about this.
Yeah, we're really excited. And so I know that on our side, we've been really excited to be working with Iris throughout this process and supporting on the packaging side, but also just learning so much about what you're doing beyond. And I know for our audience, this might be new though, so I'd love to take the opportunity to open it up and to hear a bit more about you and your introduction, who you are, and with relation to Iris. And just quickly for your audience as well, I'm Cassia Patel, the program director of Oceanic Global, which is an ocean conservation nonprofit that really focuses on behavior change, primarily tackling plastic and waste at both the individual level, but also the industry level. And we work across various sectors, but in this case, also breaking into more of the consumer goods products and seeing how we can support on the packaging end. But yeah, Tom, would love to hear your introduction.
Yeah, so Cassia, thank you so much, and it's been great to go on this journey with you all and have you educate us a little bit. And really, I want to just kind of shout out, first of all, our founder and CEO, Jacoby, that the first time I met him, which was almost 2 years ago now, this desire and this passion behind conservation, particularly oceans, is something that he is so passionate about and such a vanguard for. And he wanted that as part of our DNA in the company. And we're a headphone, we're an audio technology company with a headphone product. And so how does that all factor into the way in which we go about business? Well, from day one, Jacoby's passion and really the ethos behind the design of the product was about how do we use materials that are sustainable, how do we leave the smallest carbon footprint as a company that we can. And I found that such a fascinating dimension to a technology company and a startup company as well, which has to manage costs. And I was immediately passionate and behind that mission myself, and it's something that the whole team here really believes in. So a little bit about Iris. Our core, we're audio technology, a very different audio technology to many that are out there in the way that we reactivate live music to be more like you would experience it in the live setting. So we are stimulating your neurology alongside fantastic sounding. And we have embedded that technology into an amazing headphone product we'll look at a little bit later with the packaging, which we can go through and talk about what we've done here to make it such a sustainable product. And we launched that in July this year, and we've actually gone live today with our own e-commerce store, so people can get back in there and buy the Iris Flow headphones. And one of the things that we were super passionate about was just this incredible wastage that you see in premium product packaging, this kind of Russian doll effect where you've got a box in a box in a box. How could we eliminate that but still have this premium unboxing experience that people love so much? So that's what we've really succeeded, and obviously worked with yourselves to guide us on how we made that come to reality.
Amazing. And actually on that note, I think it's especially as we're sitting at home in quarantine during the pandemic, we're just seeing how the plastic waste from packaging piles up, especially, as we're choosing to in groceries and are just spending so much more time in our homes, where recycling and waste management infrastructure has shifted entirely almost from commercial to residential. And so we're seeing this a lot more as we're living within our waste and plastic footprint. So I think within that, it's really important to also be considering, we work a lot in various sectors, as I mentioned, tackling food waste and events and consumption beyond, but looking at packaging, it is something that is so personal and so visible every time we do receive a product and a good, and thinking about how consumers want to see brands that are advocating best practices for social and environmental responsibility, aligning with their ethos. I think in addition to the phenomenal and groundbreaking technology that you all are developing on the audio side of things, it's really wonderful to see that as a new company entering the space now, you're taking that into consideration and really putting forward something that we can all believe in and be proud of. Could you share a bit more about, you mentioned about this, this Russian doll effect and reducing the amount of plastic waste. Would love to give you the opportunity just to share the factors that you thought through and how it was very holistic and integrative your process, thinking through what's incorporated within the product itself, what's incorporated within multiple levels of the packaging design, to achieve what you've ultimately come to collectively with plastic-free packaging here?
Yeah, so actually it's more than just the box, and we'll take a little look at the box in a second. We really set out to, first of all, work with a production partner that cared about this themselves. So when we could, we were on the ground there in China where this is manufactured, and really hand-picking our factory for their own credentials on sustainability. And actually, we succeeded in finding a factory that we felt really comfortable working with in that sense. And then, not just about this box that it comes in, but also the actual headphones themselves. How can we limit the use of glues and different materials that have a poor ability to strip them down and recycle them at end of life? So as far as we can, we've really kind of tested the boundaries of that and implemented some of that. But I mean, one of the things that I do want to call out is how challenging that actually is. And we don't pretend for 1 second to have solved all of these problems with this product. It's very hard to do that. And particularly as a startup, I think it's important that younger companies and companies that are just starting out on their journey have these things at their core. But I completely support them and completely understand the position that they're in and that we're in, that sometimes it's impossible to do all those things that you want to do. You should have it in your DNA so that you get to it at some point. And, where we wanted to use screws instead of glues in the product, sometimes that's just not possible because manufacturing techniques and sometimes cost prohibit you from being able to do that. But as far as we possibly can, we've gone into that. To talk a little bit about the box, this is the box.
Awesome.
And it's got everything on it, and it's a cardboard box. It's got it's been built to be sturdy, because what we're doing is shipping this in the post, and this is also the product box. So if we just kind of reveal it here, so you've got a rib tie here. There is no single-use plastics on this box, and then what you have is, rather than another box within that, you've just got the product straight there. So we're going to put the shipping label right on here. That's going to find its way to your door. It's not going to get damaged in any way, and all of this in here is recycled pulp. The tray that it comes in here is a recycled pulp, and there's nothing else to it. That's it. You've got your box, it's reinforced, you've got your pulp tray, and then you've got your product just sitting nicely in there, in this carry case that's got protective nature to it as well. And then you've got your incredible Iris Flow headphones inside. There they are, the white version. And if you were to look at another product of this price point, so this is $399, £379. That would come in a box, in another box, and then it would probably have a sleeve wrapper around it. And of course, what you do is you just throw that straight in the trash. There's no need to keep any of that. You might keep it for sentimental reasons, but there's no real need to. And then, of course, the other thing that's a real pain point is then when you get into the inside of where all your accessories and things are, all of these would come in individual little Ziploc bags or something like that. Well, what's the point of that? You're going to pull this charger and this audio cable out, and you're just going to throw all that away. So we worked with our production team to just eliminate all of those little individual bags and things. Let's just put the product together in a way that doesn't have any of that wasted additional packaging that's completely unnecessary. And we're going to challenge other companies to do the same. There is no point for any of that stuff to be there. And that's what we've really set out to do. So it's those little details that have been super important to us, and we feel really proud to have executed the product in this way. And we will look for continued improvements. As I said, we don't pretend to think that we've solved everything here, but it's a big step in the direction of where we think we should be as a company and where we think other companies should be when they present these products to their customers.
Amazing. And I think, also there's so much that goes into it, and I really love that you mentioned that we don't need to be perfect, but to be continuing on this journey. And I think what you all have done, though, certainly sets the bar high in that journey, which is wonderful. But also just shouting out too, there's no little zip ties and things in the zippers. There's no stickers on the product itself. You really through all those different pieces. We also had a consultation, I remember, towards the beginning of the process to confirm that there is no PFAS even in the molded fiber that's being used. PFAS is a forever chemical, which does last nearly indefinitely in our environment and has unforeseen consequences to human health. And so really just thinking about this holistically in a non-toxic way as well, using not only recycled materials, but materials that can be recycled, and ultimately having that carry case be something that's reusable, something that's valuable. And I think what you've also mentioned too, this is a luxury, higher premium product. And so how can we take this opportunity to redefine luxury such that it doesn't mean a pile of plastic waste, but it means a high quality, durable good, that can be used for a long time and has a very long life. So I think we are seeing the movement changing and shifting in this direction, but it's really wonderful just to have more and more examples and opportunities of that.
Exactly, and I think I applaud you guys for keeping us honest on this as well. You've kind of challenged us to continue to think about all of these aspects, and we're excited to continue working with you on this. I think. Just some stats. I've got to read these off of a piece of paper because I can't remember.
Yes, the impact is really wonderful. I think that'd be great.
So per box, per product, this saves 1,000 square inches of glue. And I looked at that stat and I thought, that sounds like a lot. But when you consider that the glue that is required to assemble a glossy product box and how many layers that might have if it's a laminated box, actually it really adds up. You think that's insane that amount of glue and all the chemicals that come with it would be traditionally there. 500 grams of plastic saved, 900 square inches of cellophane saved, and 1,000 square inches of cardboard sheet, because of course you've just got this one box, which is the product and shipping box in one. So those are stats that we're really proud of, and how can we take that further and save even more? Of course, that's something that we'll keep pursuing. And like you said, all of that is completely PFAS free. So the forever chemical is not present even in the cardboard and the packaging that we do have that keeps your product safe on its way to your door.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I'm really glad that you did share those numbers because it is helpful to frame it in that context. And I think also it's even in the design of the box itself, as you mentioned, that rip tie, which seems so simple and elegant, but is actually really quite innovative in the number of layers of plastic tape you're usually ripping through and cutting through to get your box open. But in the design of the box itself so that it doesn't have unnecessary, unneeded material in that too. So I think this just shows that we love to say that the plastic pollution issue is a design problem. We're using products that are materials that are designed to last forever. They're these flexible, durable, incredible materials, but we're using them for items designed to be used once and then thrown away. And so that's really a design flaw, and we can absolutely design our way out of this issue. And I think with packaging of products like yours and showing these high quality, durable solutions that are just more intentional, taking a moment to pause, reset, rethink, looking at every sector of what you're creating, we can show how this truly is possible and something to celebrate and to be proud of in addition to the larger brand story and mission.
Exactly. But, we challenge everybody to follow on this same path. I think, like you say, it's a design thing. If you start out at the very beginning of your journey with it in mind and it embedded into your company's DNA and what you stand for, there's really three things that we have at our core as a passion, all of which are really kind of highlighted at this moment in time, and really a lens has been placed on them. One is ocean preservation and general sustainability. The second is mental well-being. We're all about the mind and how we activate the mind in a useful way with the Iris technology. And then the third is live music. There's a lot of artists that are struggling right now. We want to bring people back to live music. And, we're shut down. We can't enjoy that moment. So those three things are embedded within the core of our business. And I think it's important just generally to have a purpose and something that's beyond the product itself that you're selling, because you get like-minded people and customers ultimately interested in what you're doing. This isn't something that should be seen as a commercial deterrent to your business. This is something that can help you commercially whilst you've got one eye on the future and for causes that are important to you. And yes, that means that this box costs more money to produce. This box costs us more to produce. We could have been lazy. We could have just put it in a standard box and then in another box for shipping. But there's no fun in that either. You know, we've got to think about our future, but there's also no fun. It's nice to have a design challenge to try and overcome. And, you know, big shout out to our design partners in this common who took the challenge on to produce this and really, you know, worked with us to rip up the rulebook around product packaging and how we could make this product really kind of stand out from the crowd in every way.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I love too what you mentioned about, you know, this need to have mission driven with purpose. And what we are seeing is even through this period of pandemic when the world is in utter chaos, we actually are seeing that 57 respondents to a survey from Brandwatch are showing that adults around the world are looking for brands that are embodying their values for society and for the environment, looking to 2021. So even throughout this period, this is what they're expecting to see from businesses. Even 7 to 10 people within the past few months have changed their behaviors to align with the world they want to see, whether that's environmentally, socially, and beyond. So they're actually willing to change their own lifestyles and what they're doing at home. And so I think this is really inspiring because it's showing us how that movement is shifting. And I think what's also optimistic, you mentioned that this was more expensive in this case, and hopefully that's not always true. You know, there are so many ways that sustainability can be cost effective by saving materials and by finding ways to take a more circular approach. And so as that market catches up, we're actually seeing a more recent study from Morgan Stanley looking at other studies evaluating the success of businesses. But businesses that do have an environmental and social purpose are more likely to have higher profits and to succeed and to last longer. And so this is really thinking about sustainability in many terms of the word, sustainability for our planet, for our human health, but also for the longevity of what it is that we're creating. And so, again, really wonderful to see what you all are spearheading. And is there anything else you'd want to add to the story? And just a shout out to all those who are on the call, on the live. Feel free to drop in a couple of questions. I know.
I'm just trying to look and see.
Yeah, feel free to drop in some questions in the chat. And in the meantime, Tom, is there anything else you want to share? Something, that was perhaps unexpected in this journey or surprising or a positive response? I know you all have been getting some wonderful press. Is there something from the audience and the community, that really did take you by surprise or delighted you all?
Well, I think in general we're just delighted with the response on the product. We start shipping at the end of October, and we cannot wait to get this product out into people's hands. I think they're going to love it. They're going to love how they sound. We're proud of what we've built and the company that we've built behind it. And I think people are going to just really enjoy the experience right from hopefully from the website that we've now launched today and the purchasing journey all the way through to the way in which we're going to update all of our customers on the progress of their purchase right the way to their door, the unboxing experience, of course, and then right the way through to the listening experience, and then hopefully sharing that incredible experience with others so that we can grow this movement that we're standing behind around taking people back to the purity and this incredible sense of listening and fantastic audio that's kind of got a little bit lost, actually. The story we tell is that we've made such strides in the last 50 years visually. You think about HD screens, we're talking to each other halfway across the planet in almost perfect definition, but the audio is not brilliant. So why is that? Why can't we have incredible audio and not have a compromise for the convenience of carrying 1,000 songs around in our pocket? Well, that's what Iris is all about, and we're really excited to get this product out into people's hands and for them to experience it for themselves.
Fantastic. That's wonderful, Tom, and we're so excited to see that as it grows. There are a couple of questions that we're seeing. Well, I think you really just spoke to this, but there's a question about what does success look like for your brand, and I think you really just did highlight what that means, and being a global leader in this movement and inspiring others to to elevate what it is that they're doing in their ongoing spheres. And then there's if you'd like to speak to it though, please.
No, I think you really nailed it. Actually, what you said was, longer term. I think we've just tuned in as consumers and humans to what's important. More and more of us are tuning into that, and I think this COVID moment has been horrendous. And people have lost loved ones, and so many people have been affected. Our economy is on its knees, but I think it's accelerated a realization that we need to take care of the planet. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of our minds, and that's good to see. And I think you're right. What you said earlier. Probably all of us have been ordering things for convenience off of Amazon, and they've arrived, and you just see this multitude of wasted packaging that turns up, and it's infuriating. It's infuriating because it's a pain to then have to get rid of it. You've got to put it out in the trash, recycle a lot of it, but it's just a hassle factor. And I think the point you made earlier is really crucial. If you think about these things now, long term, people will buy into you as a company, and commercially, whilst it may take more, dollars of investment to design different packaging that's more sustainable, longer term, you're going to save money. You're going to save money on the materials, and you're going to make more money because more people are going to buy into what you are about as a company. And I completely buy into your point on that. And I think that's why we invested now in this life stage of our journey, not just punt it out into the long grass and say, oh, that's a problem for tomorrow. I think if we keep punting things into the long grass and saying that's a problem to solve later down the road, then where are we at with things? Where are we at with companies and the planet?
Yeah, well, I love that, and I know that we're approaching time here, but I think that's a wonderful note to end on. That there is no forward future really to look to other than the moment right now to take action. We absolutely are seeing the impacts already, visibly, of plastic pollution, of climate change, of how the world works when we're not in harmony with each other and our planet. And it is so obvious that this is the moment to be taking action, and it's really, really exciting and inspiring to have solutions and stories like Iris's to be celebrating, because I do think we all need something to look to and to share as best practices. So thank you for all of your work, and we were so honored to be a part of this with you, and
we're honored to have
excited
you.
to see what comes next.
We're honored to have you guys as part of it as well. And for anyone that's following from Iris, get on board and follow Oceanic and all the great work that they're doing. Great organisation, passionate team. Your team is just incredible, and always finding ways to work with us, and you inspire us every day. So everybody go and follow them and follow their work.
Thank you so much, and thanks all. Have a lovely rest of your week. Take care. Bye.